I'm a working princess and I'm very proud of it. I believe people travel everywhere for food. If your food is good, people will make that journey. When we were curating menus for the hotel, I didn't only want to serve traditional and only Southeast Asian. I wanted to amalgamate my two worlds, which means so much to me. So I started creating dishes which I'm emotionally vested in. You know, you're not just experiencing the palace, you're experiencing my home. And I think that's what this is about. When you see the love that people give you back when they eat your food and they respond, and often people leave saying, I did not expect to eat ramen in Sawantwadi. That's my biggest win. The Sawant Bhonsle dynasty was founded in the 16th century by Khem Sawant I. We belong to the Sisodia and Rajput family of Udaipur. Khem Sawant the first successor, Lakham Sawant, and his nephew, Khem Sawant II, with a mere team of 12,000 soldiers, they defeated the Kodal Deshastas. It was one war that went down in the books for us because it was very strategically done. In 1627 is when Khem Sawant II established capital in this city. This city was called Sundarwadi at that time. The name of the city changed to Sawantwadi because our last name is Sawant Bhonsle's. When I got married into Sawantwadi, not many people knew of this city. That somehow pinched me because, whenever I would tell my friends I'm getting married in Sawantwadi or I live in Sawantwadi, it would often be associated with, oh, it's near Goa. But it was never a city that comes under Maharashtra. People wouldn't have heard of it. And then I think that made it for me as a lifelong mission where I wanted to create recognition. I'm a Bombay girl by heart. Grew up in a Gujarati family with 14 people at one time. Everything revolved around food. And I think that's where my journey with food actually began. From Bombay, I moved to New York to study my culinary arts. I've always liked a busy life. The hustle and bustle of Bombay and New York really got to me. But then soon later, I think life had different plans. I soon started looking at Lakham from a different light. We both started dating. Soon that turned into me moving from Bombay to Sawantwadi. And honestly, I didn't know what that meant. So Lakham and I decided we'll get married at the palace. And that's when first this Vada was opened. So the Vada that we're sitting in today was shut for 35 years. And when we decided to get married, Lakham said, he'll have his friends stay here. And he opened doors. And the day he opened doors, we had 150 bats fly out because, it took us 4.5 years. 2019 is when we started restoring it. 2023 is when we opened doors to this hotel. It's been a labor of love because every detail that you see in the rooms, right from every room being themed around the Ganjifa art that we practice, the woodworking that has been displayed everywhere, the furniture that we sit on, all of it is a part of history. It was also about beautifying the palace again, repainting walls, building the landscape, creating a swimming pool. Through the restoration process, we only hired locals. Even from the fountains that you see within the palace, that was commissioned to two brothers in Kodal. The portrait of the 5 queens of Sawantwadi, to which the hotel is dedicated today, was commissioned to a local artist, Mr. Polaji. People of Sawantwadi are so talented, they just needed a direction. Today, when you see what we're doing with Sawantwadi Palace Boutique Art Hotel, art is not just about the Ganjifa art that we talk about. It's about promoting different artisans of Sawantwadi. Right from the crochet rose that was given at the welcome by Tanuja. It takes her 3 hours to do 1 rose. And I told her, bring me 300 roses within a week. Now that's something of an impossible target for somebody who's just started off. But I wanted to see whether she had that zest. She's come in 6 days. And she's like, here ma'am. And I started working with her because I want to see that spark in people. So yes, it took me twice the amount of time to train people, but today I feel so proud of the fact that all of our team is local. I'm being able to give livelihood to another individual, and that's what counts. For us, welcome to the family is just not a tagline for the books. It's literally where, you've been here, you understand how it is. We meet people every day. Everyone who comes by the doors, I personally talk to them about our history. We curate menus for them as per what they want to eat. That's what creates that link. And that's why that decision to make a boutique hotel and not a 40-room hotel was made. People who come and live with us, they understand Maratha hospitality, what it was like to live in a Maratha palace, and that's why our rooms are big. And they should experience what it was to live in a grand palace like this. When we were curating menus for the hotel, my father-in-law is a beautiful person who taught me Indian food. I've trained Western. I trained at the Culinary Institute of America, and that's when we learned French and Asian and American. But Indian cooking is what my father-in-law taught me, how to blend things together. A lot of the things that we do in terms of the Rajwada Thali are recipes that my father-in-law personally taught me. That's what we showcase it at the hotel also. We want people to taste Malwani, local heritage food, Maratha food, because we're very proud of it. But then at night, I do a lot of Asian food because that's where my interest lies. I didn't only want to serve traditional and only Southeast Asian. I wanted to amalgamate my two worlds, which means so much to me. Today with the boutique hotel, we're doing things we love, and that's what reflects with the people that come in. My husband's a baker and a pastry chef, and so we bring all of our worlds together. A ramen bowl has so much depth. When you layer your bowl with fat, season it with tare, fill it with a broth that you've simmered for 24 to 48 hours, garnish it with the right condiments. I make my own noodles, I do my own broth. There are some classic ramens that I do, Tokyo style shoyu ramen. I do a Korean kimchi ramen, pork tonkatsu, which is your classic. But I also have a special, which is called the PWR ramen, plated with royalty ramen. Similar flavors were introduced to me by my father-in-law. This ramen bowl adapts from those flavors. I think it's one of the best bowls that I've created. I believe people travel everywhere for food. If your food is good, people will make that journey. That's what gave me the encouragement of completing my ramen dream in Sawantwadi. People didn't know when I introduced Japanese and Korean cuisine. In fact, my chefs that work with me, the first time they saw miso paste and gochujang, and they were like, "Ma'am, what are we doing? What are we working with?" They wouldn't know. But today they've reached a point where they're experimenting. So, to see that you're opening up their world also to so many different things. Say, for example, one more dish that we've recently incorporated is a bao. As you know, is Southeast Asian origin, which has a sous vide pork belly in the center. But, for me, when I cook, in any of my dishes, I always like some sort of crunch. That is me personally as a chef. Now, how do I add a crunch factor to a bao dish? Normally, if you've eaten bao, it's all softer textures. We make something which is a heritage recipe called kesari mas. Now, kesari mas is actually mutton, which is shredded into thin strands like kesar. They are then fried and spiced. It's more like, it's a crunchy snack. Often the family would have guests which, unannounced sometimes. And what do you serve them? You can't only serve them vegetarian, you want to serve them meat. So we had certain recipes which we would make like kesari mas. Kesari mas is a labor of love because it's, it's a lot of hours to strand one piece of mutton into those strands. But that when you add to that bao and just bring that dish together, everything that we do, we make sure that the flavors are local. We were privileged enough to go to one of the most prestigious and the best culinary school in the world, use those techniques and amalgamate it with Sawantwadi flavors. And that's what we're doing here. Many a times, people who have come from bigger cities don't know what certain produce looks like. we take people to that kitchen garden and we show them this is where the morning glory that you're eating your stir fry from came from. You're coming back to your roots, something that you didn't know or you've not experienced before. There was a time where, certain ingredients that I wanted, say, zucchini flour, I wanted habanero chilies, certain herbs that we wanted, the garlic chive, we were not finding locally. The itch of growing my own. Have your own kitchen garden, you feel more attached to the produce that you're using. Knowing where your produce is coming from makes a lot of the difference. And that was one of the reasons why we also started curating this experience called Lunch with a Sawantwadi. Lunch with a Sawantwadi is where we take you into one of the humble homes of Sawantwadi, where the family welcomes you with open arms. They have farm animals in their same house. The husband will take you to the kitchen garden where they're literally growing all their produce. Sawantwadikars were the happiest in the pandemic. They didn't feel a lack because they had everything that they required. असं तर हे नाचणीची आहे नाचणीची आहे मध्ये पण घालायचं ना थोडं आपण करा दाखवा मला आता काय फिरवू हा हे The mother-in-law makes bhakri on a chula for you. No fancy food will ever compare to a home-cooked meal cooked on a bhatti. The love of that mother-in-law who's making that bhakri, it's different. That lunch with a Sawantwadi when you're eating on the banana leaf, you're eating home-cooked, simple food. But the flavors are something that you can't compare. You can't compare. You just can't. When people come and stay at the Sawantwadi Palace Boutique Art Hotel, you're not just experiencing the palace, you're experiencing my home. And I think that's what this is about. I think one very important thing that I still resonate with today is that women in this family were given an equal stature. My grandmother-in-law, Rajmata Satvashila Devi, she is the one who is responsible for reviving the Ganjifa art along with my grandfather-in-law, Rajasaheb Shivram Sawant Bhonsle. She's the one who started the college and school that we run till today. My mother-in-law, she's so active, she takes care of my school and college. The queens of Sawantwadi, the Maratha queens, they were so powerful. They shaped so much of our history. In fact, the Moti Talab that you see in front of the lake was actually built for one of the queens, which made Sawantwadi in turn the first planned city in India because everything around the city started being planned around that water body. I think that's what is the beauty of being married into this family where it's not the men ahead of the women ahead of the men, no. We're treated as an equal and that's very refreshing to see. When I moved to Sawantwadi, I learned a lot of patience, which didn't come naturally to me because, growing up in a Gujarati business family, we've always learned to do things quick. When I came into a Maratha family, here everything was so calm. Sawantwadi is so calm. when I got married into the family, it took us 4.5 years to just start this hotel, right? So it was 6.5 years of waiting. And I don't think I could have learned more patience than that at times where you doubt yourself. What am I doing that, I see my friends and my associates doing so much better. But today I have received 5 folds. Today I have received a boutique hotel. I'm doing food that I want. Today I'm cooking my heart's content. And that's something that also Lakham taught me. He would often tell me, Shraddha, put your head down, continue to work, everything will follow. And I think that's been a very big life lesson for me, and that's changed me as a person also. I'm a working princess and I'm very proud of it. I do work about 12 to 14 hours a day, always on foot because it's hospitality. But that's what I love about hospitality. When you see the love that people give you back when they eat your food and they respond, and often people leave saying, I did not expect to eat ramen in Sawantwadi. That's my biggest win. I believe we put a lot of heart into creating this destination, creating Sawantwadi Palace Boutique Art Hotel. We're the only palace hotel in Maharashtra and the only chef-owned palace hotel in India. And we hope that we can open our world to many more, to have people come and experience Maratha hospitality. It took me 5 years. I wouldn't say that it was an easy journey for me to transform. Today, Sawantwadi is my whole life. I've formed such a beautiful community. The people that I work with have become family to me. I couldn't be more grateful for this life that the universe has brought to me today. We're moving slowly close to putting Sawantwadi on the map, and I hope we do that soon.